Hello and welcome to the World Cup 2010. We've been waiting for 2 years for this tournament to come around and now it's finally here. You can sense the crackle of excitement in the air. So, who are going to be the heroes? Who are going to be the villains? Well, we'll do our best to guide you through what's likely to happen in each of the groups and each of the 64 games throughout this great tournament on 188bet.com. We might as well start at the beginning. Group A pitches France against Uruguay, Mexico and the host South Africa. The host nation has never failed to qualify out of the group stages in a World Cup finals, until now that is. Even though Carlos Alberto Pereira knows what it's like to guide a team to victory in the final stages, I really don't believe that he's going to come anywhere close with this South African side. You can back them to finish rock bottom of Group A. France are the favourites for this, although they're the weakest favourites of each of the 8 groups at 2.25 to win the group. But I think that Uruguay and Mexico are going to lead them a merry dance and qualify in either first or second position. I'm suggesting that you might have a little bet on the straight forecast bet out of Group A, with Uruguay to finish first, Mexico second at odds of 15.0, or the reverse, Mexico to finish first and Uruguay second at the same odds of 15.0. In Group B, everything is going to centre around Diego Maradona. They say that it's 24 years is a magic number in the World Cup. Well, Argentinian fans say that now. It took Brazil 24 years post-Pelé to win a World Cup finals after the great man had retired. Diego Maradona led his Argentinian side to victory in Mexico in 1986, and it's 24 years now since that glorious occasion for Argentina as well. They're available at odds of between 6 and 7.0 to actually win the World Cup outright, and I think they're going to get off to a flyer through Group B. I think that there's going to be an upset in terms of who follows them through though, because Nigeria and Greece, while they're vying for favouritism and as the side that are likely to come through in second best, I think South Korea are going to cause an upset. A well-organised side with plenty of top-class talent on display, you can back them at odds of 3.5 to come through with Argentina from Group B. Group C, well, it's all about England. The 1966, 44 years ago, was the last time that England tasted World Cup glory, and on most of the tournaments since then, there's been a great sense of hope and belief that that was the year. It's no different this year around. Fabio Capello has a well-organised group of players at his disposal. I think that one of the key players who will be the determining factor as to how England go in this tournament is Gareth Barry. In 85% of the matches that Gareth Barry has played for England over the last couple of years, England have won, whereas they've only won in 56% of the matches that he hasn't taken part in. So, time to get busy in the fitness room then and get Gareth Barry back on an even keel for the latter stages of this tournament. They kick off against the USA, and his absence might just allow the USA to sneak a surprise draw in this game, and that would set them up to go through in second place behind England, and you can back that result at even money. In Group D, we've got Germany, Serbia, Ghana and Australia. The Germans came third in the World Cup in 2006, second at the European Championships in 2008 and fancy themselves to go one better this time around. It would be something of a surprise. Michael Ballack's injury has left a big hole in the middle of their midfield, but I think that Mesut Ozil is going to step forward and fill that gap. I think that Germany will qualify comfortably from this group, but I do think that they might qualify in second place because Serbia, even though some people suggest that they are likely to win this World Cup outright, I don't think that they're going to be that good, but I do think that they can qualify as group winners from this group. And you can get odds of 6.0 about them causing what would be a surprise upset. It might suit Germany to go through in second place. I think that they will go a long way in the tournament, perhaps longer than Serbia, albeit the German defence is probably not strong enough to allow them to lift the trophy. In Group E, you've got another European side with high hopes and ambitions coming into this tournament. The Netherlands came close in 1974 and in 1978, having to give second best to the host nations, Germany and Argentina on both of those occasions. But this time around, it's unlikely that South Africa are going to step in their way. They should qualify comfortably at odds of 1.6 as group winners from Group E. Who's going to follow them through? You've got Denmark and Cameroon vying alongside Japan for that honour. I think that Cameroon are a side who might well be the big disappointment of this World Cup finals. Samuel Eto'o was causing trouble before the tournament, wondering whether he was even going to participate in it because he was upset at some comments from Cameroon legend Roger Milla about his contribution to the team. And I think that manager Paul Le Guen is going to have his work cut out trying to craft this group of players into a team unit. I'd prefer to take odds of 3.6 about Cameroon finishing rock bottom of Group E as my bet in this group. In Group F, you've got an Italian side who are likely to field a starting lineup of no fewer than 8 players aged 30 years or older in their opening group phase. They'll be happy then to have been drawn in a group alongside Paraguay, New Zealand and World Cup debutant Slovakia. It's not the most difficult of groups, and I think that Italy will come through. I also think that Paraguay are the side most likely to follow them through, but I would suggest that you might like to look at some of the goals markets for this group, because with New Zealand and Slovakia both well organised sides at the back, I think that this could prove to be the lowest scoring group of the 8. In Group G, it's not going to be short on goals or excitement. It was christened as the Group of Death, and with Brazil, Portugal and the Ivory Coast in there, it certainly could live up to its billing. North Korea make up the numbers in this group. They had one of their forwards, Kim, who was nominated as their 3rd goalkeeper in a bid to circumvent some of FIFA's rules. But FIFA put the foot down and they said that the striker will only be able to play if he's wearing the goalkeeper's jersey and lining out between the sticks. That's not the greatest of preparation to bring to a tournament, particularly against opposition of the stellar likes of those 3 teams. And North Korea are likely to really struggle. Brazil have got a very well organised side. Lucio is playing at a better level than he's ever played before, and with Luis Fabiano up front and Kaká pulling the strings in the midfield, this is a side who could go all the way through to World Cup final glory. I think that they will qualify as group winners out of this group, and again I think that it's Europe that are going to cause an upset at the expense of Africa in terms of who are likely to follow them through. Portugal do need to get their act together. They drew 0-0 against the Cape Verde Islands in one of their final preparation matches for the World Cup finals, and that, as Ricardo Carvalho said himself, leaves a little bit of work to be done. You're right there, Ricardo, but I do think that they are capable of pulling one off on the Ivory Coast side, who, despite having a golden generation of players, may be in decline. They were beaten finalists in the African Nations Cup three times ago. 2 times ago, they finished as semi-finalists, and this time around, earlier on this year, they were knocked out in the quarter-finals. That's not great preparation, and even the likes of Drogba, Kalou and Touré and Eboué, I still think that the Ivory Coast might be the side to give way in this so-called group of death. In Group H, you've got Spain, outright favourites to win the World Cup and very short to qualify as group winners from this. I definitely think with the frightening array of talents they have at their disposal, you just look down their team list and you see the likes of Torres, Villa, Casillas, Piqué, Iniesta and Xavi in the midfield. I definitely think that they're a side that are going to go an awful long way. Who are going to follow them through? I think this time around it could be South America. Chile against Switzerland will likely be the determining game in who goes through, and I think the Chilean flair over Swiss organisation will put them through. That could set up a quarter-final appearance between Spain and Argentina, and those are the 2 sides that I think are capable of going on to win the tournament. I think that Spain have all of the natural talent in the world, but you know, something just tells me that Argentina, under Diego Maradona, have got destiny on their side. It is going to be the most wonderful of football tournaments. I hope you're going to join us and follow it every step of the way on 188bet.com, the in-play specialists.